Baby stood in front of her, holding open the flaps of her jacket like a screen. What was the girl scared of? The shop doorway darkened as a toff with a cane, in a coat buttoned up to the neck, peered at the two of them. He tapped his cane on the pavement. "Sophie, come on out now, there's a good girl." "You looking for someone, mister?" said Baby, her heart puffing up her chest as she did her best to shield her GoldilocksGirl, Sophie. With thick black eyebrows like two furry caterpillars, he frowned at Baby and screwed up his face just like he'd smelt a crate of rotten fish down Billingsgate. Then, hardly opening his mouth at all, he said, "And what does it have to do with you, you dirty little savage? Get out of my way." His words hurt Baby. They stung like a slap round the head. But she remembered Moll. She jutted out her chin, pressed her lips together, and with a solid determination made herself as big as she could and stayed put. Whatever savages were, it was plain he hated them, and she wasn't dirty. It was her skin. Moll had told her she'd come from India on a boat when she was just a little scrap, so she was born with it. The man grabbed Baby's sleeve and hauled her away from Sophie. "So be it." He stuck his cane under his arm, grabbed the fronts of Sophie's coat and pulled her out the shop door. Baby rubbed her shoulder where it had bashed against the shop window. Sophie wriggled and kicked. "Nine! I don't want to go, I mustn't go." Tears ran down her face. Her halo became a wild golden frizz, and screwed up in his fists like that, her coat was as good as the straitjackets that they put the poor confused folk in. Head first, Baby charged at the narrow gap between Sophie and the toff, shouting, "She said she didn't want to go, didn't she?" But the man swiped Baby away with his stick. It stung her chest and made her gasp for breath. She fell into the road. All her bones juddered as her backside hit the cobbles. An engine rumbled in the distance. Baby sat up, but again the street was tipping all over the place. She opened her mouth to tell Sophie, "It's all right, I'll get you." But the next thing she knew was a gleaming dark red car hurtling down Whitechapel Road straight for her. With a squeal of tyres, the car swerved and stopped by the toff. Sophie wriggled on the end of his arm, shouting, "Nine! I must not go." Baby did her best to stand up, but a woman in a tight black silk blouse eased herself out of the car. She trod on Baby's hand as if Baby weren't there at all and sidled up to the toff. Baby's fingers throbbed with pain as the woman, in a voice that dripped like cod liver oil, said, "Dear Arthur, you're very clever to find one so soon. How much do you say he was going to pay?" "I've told you before, Hilda. The money is irrelevant. Think of the honour. Think of the glory. I've told you before, Hilda. The money is irrelevant. Think of the honour. Think of the glory. I'll contact as the ear of Herr Himmler. If this girl is special, who knows what will follow?" "But how much for a special one, Arthur dear?" The toff frowned at the woman as he struggled to keep hold of Goldilocks Sophie. "Open the door, will you? She's a slippery little so-and-so." The woman opened the door wide. "Do you think it might be more than 1,000? Sophie tried to pull herself away. Her pink scarf slipped out from her coat. The woman pulled it off Sophie's neck with a greedy smile and tossed it round her own. All the while, Sophie screamed, "Nine! Her heart angry and breaking at the same time, Baby curled her sore fingers into a fist. She scrambled up and head first tried again to push her way between Sophie and the toff. "You get your hands off her! She don't want to go!" But he shoved Sophie behind the front seat and into the back of the car. He slammed the door shut, took his stick from under his arm and swiped Baby away again. Baby held her hand to her chest. She struggled to breathe where it hurt. 2,000 at least, probably more, he said, and tried to push past the window, annoyed at her questions. But the woman stood in his way, slipped her hand inside his coat and pulled out 2 little bits of cardboard. We'll never need these again, will we? And she tossed 2 railway tickets into the street. As soon as the woman's back was turned, Baby scrambled across the cobbles, snatched them up, and tucked them into her pocket. The woman stroked the bonnet of the flashy new car. A fraction of £2,000 will cover the balance on this. She sauntered round to the driver's seat and slid herself back in it. Sophie smacked the back window, her face full of fear and hope, begging Baby to help. The toff sat himself in the passenger seat and slammed the car door shut. Baby leaped for the running board and pulled on the door handle. It wouldn't budge. Baby leapt for the running board and pulled on the door handle. It wouldn't budge. And Sophie's face, ghostly pale, stared out. She laid her palm against the window, like a giving up, like a goodbye. Baby laid hers against it. Though the glass separated them, their hands met, and as the engine rumbled into life, Baby felt the promise leave her heart and melt through the glass. I'll save you, it said. The car pulled away. Baby clung tight to the door handle for both their lives. Inside the car, the toff unbuttoned his coat and loosened the collar, showing off his black shirt. The car picked up speed, bouncing over the ruts and potholes, and Baby bounced with it. She clung on as it turned the corner, but the man, the toff, the black shirt, flung the passenger door open and knocked her into the road. She tumbled across the pavement, righting herself just in time to see the girl's face framed by the car window disappearing into the distance. Baby ran, her brave, beating heart urging her on, but the car sped away. When it was out of sight, with her chest heaving, Baby fell on her knees. I'll find you. Just see if I don't, she said, and looked to the heavens, because that had to be where Sophie came from. Baby had one clue, 2 really, in the pocket of her green silk jacket, which Moll had found her wrapped up in all that time ago. The horrible woman's 2 railway tickets, nestled with a small card that had "Look after Baby" on it in elegant handwriting next to a smeary lipstick kiss. The card had been there so long it was stuck, but the new tickets Baby had every intention of taking out and using. She heard a grunt behind her. Baby turned to see a ratty little girl with a tangle of ginger curls piled on her head, a full skirt gathered into a scrawny middle, and tight fists resting where her hips should be. I've been looking for you, said Fingers, with a pout on her that would have pushed the Queen Mary out to sea.